So I ended up on Facebook, and in one of those Facebook groups I've seen a post about somebody who was concerned about that a drone was flying over his property, and it was kind of concerning to see in the comment section how quick people actually decide and try to commit a felony by simply just saying they're gonna do this to the drone. Or whatever else. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about it. Let's talk to these people, educate them a little bit about what drone flying is all about and what we actually do. So before I really take off with this video and before I really start, I would like to thank all of my viewers and all the people that always watch my stuff, and even the new people. I would like to thank you as well. I have decided over the next 2 months that my monetization from this channel, all views, all the commercials that you guys been watching or clicking through, donations and all your thank you comments that had donated money, all that stuff, I will be giving to a charity of my wife's choice, actually, to the victims of the fires in Maui. It's probably not going to be much, but it is at least something. So let's get started with the video, guys. Drones in general, when you look at it, 80% of those drone owners are recreational flyers. I would say probably about 18% are Part 107 pilot licensed commercial flyers that fly for businesses, for realtors, for roof inspections, for film companies, or whatever else that you can find. And then there's these 2 dark percent that probably gonna try to use the drone for things they're not supposed to. Maybe even for stake out your place, who knows? But I tell you one thing, if they are there to stake out your place, they have found out about your place prior to that. And if you have hordes of golds, of pallets of golds in the back, I think that's one of the reasons why they want to take a look. But technically seen, this is the reason why we fly drones. Well, now that you've seen the reason why we fly drones, the reason why I answered in there at some point when somebody said, what can you do? Somebody flying a drone over my property. And I actually initially said nothing. Well, that's not entirely true. Technically seen, the first thing that you can do is when you see a drone flying over your property, you could go out on your road. Go out on your road, look down the road, left or right, because a pilot, most of them are aware of that they need to keep line of sight of the drone. When there's a reason for the drone to fly, it's usually that there's a realtor hiring somebody to take pictures of the property, and that drone pilot is usually around somewhere, so he should be around to be able that you can go and approach him. Be careful of the way you approach him, because the way you approach him first will be the way that he will react to you.
You think it's funny flying that piece of shit right up there to my truck? I was fucking like a quarter mile behind you. Fuck you. Fuck you, man. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you, you motherfucker. Woo!
Second thing that you can do is, coming this September of 2023, at the time of this video it's already planned, there's a thing coming out called RID, which is called Remote ID. Any drone pilot has the responsibility to operate Remote ID, and Remote ID is automatically a transfer based on data from the drone to the controller to the GPS to an app that is going to verify that this person is flying, so that there's a live screening based on that, you know where that person will be at. How that will look like, we don't know yet, but coming this September you will be able to educate yourself somehow and find out who that drone pilot is that is flying around your property. Now, the other thing about drone flying around your property is that most people think that the drone is looking straight down or looking at your property. Now, based on the height, many people miscalculate how high the drone actually is, because when you look at your roof line, in average the roof line of homes is maybe 20 feet, if so 25 feet. So if it's hovering literally right above your home, then it's usually like 25 feet. No drone pilot really will do that unless they have purpose to do so based on a roof inspection or whatever. But even then, it will usually be around 50 feet height, where we will be flying around and it will be looking downwards onto your roof, but then you should be aware of it. Now, if a drone flies that low, 50 feet, can you shoot it out of the air? No. Why? It's a federal offense to shoot at any aircraft. It's regardless of where it's at. Rural areas, including town areas, including buildings and whatnot.
Well, a strange drone flying over your home could feel invasive, maybe a little annoying, but before you get your gun out to take care of it, you might want to stop and think, because a man in Kentucky says he heard the buzzing above his head, and when he looked up, he saw a drone with what looked like a camera hovering above his teen daughter, who was sunbathing, and that's when he grabbed his gun and took matters into his own hands. Well, police didn't care and arrested him. He's facing 2 felony charges. The drone cost $1,800. There are all different sorts of rules for flying drones, which are upheld by local authorities. On Facebook, we asked what you thought of this. Paul Miller thinks he did the right thing, saying, quote, "With all the exploitation of young women and girls on the internet, this father had every right protecting his daughter from these creeps." But Anna Light sees it in a different way, saying, quote, "The issue is not the drone, but the fact he shot into the air. He could have hurt or killed someone, including his own family."
And usually people who have a recreational license, there is one thing, it might be your neighbor. It might be your neighbor's kid who just had a new thing. So if anything, talk to your neighbors. Ask them, hey, you guys own drones? Did you guys have any drones? Or did you give your kid a drone? And you should know about that. The other thing that most people in the comment section of that specific post didn't know, you can only fly legally seen a drone with permits in restricted areas that are controlled by the FAA at that time, 30 minutes before sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset. Anything that flies afterwards, let's say 10 o'clock at night, unless it's via specific permit and it has blinking lights all over that you can see it, which is supposed to be a signal light, that it has 3 nautical miles of view, it should be suspicious, because 10 o'clock at night, you ain't gonna see nothing. Especially in the area that I live, there is no ambient lighting whatsoever. Besides that, most of the time when you think about it, in flight restricted areas, companies such as DJI don't even allow any Joe Blow just to take off. So Mikey's actually going to try and take off with the DJI because we are close to the airport. Yeah. We have to try get it up first. What is it?
So, guess we won't be taking off on using the DJI.
You'll have to go through a process to pull a permit in order to unlock the drone, and then the drone will take off. Are there some Exceptions, of course, there's other drone companies that don't have that requirement or don't have that so-called geo fence, and those drones will be able to take off. But even then, especially at night, even a professional has a hard time flying a drone because you won't see any lines, you won't see any ghost branches, you won't see, if you don't know the area that well, you have a super elevated risk of crashing the drone. Most of the time, people tell me that it's about privacy. It makes me think, what do? Do you streak through your backyard naked? Is that what you do? Because if so, then if anything, why do you try to restrict drone flying? Because you're scared of your privacy. Well, then you should maybe sue Google as well and Google Maps, because in there I can see your entire property. Besides that, the county website has a website where I can punch in your address and I can see your lot number. I can see how much your lot is worth, and I can pretty much see who's the owner of the property as well. It doesn't really make sense. Most of the time, people are very paranoid about drones flying around. Oh, it makes so much noise. So are you going to tell the cars that drive past your house the same thing? Are you going to stop everybody? Are you going to cry to these people driving with freaking mopeds on the weekends when kids play around? Are you going to do the same thing? Come on. I don't think so. Another part that always catches me on this stuff is when people say, oh, I'm going to shoot it out of the air. I'm going to grab it. You don't want to grab a drone, especially not when it's on, especially not when it's running, because those propellers, some of them, they can literally take your fingers off. So you don't want to do that. Besides that, as I said before, the drone is not in your direct vicinity landing on your property. And even if it does land on your property and it turns off, why don't you just grab it, look at it? Maybe it even has a registration number on top. And you can go onto the FAA website, punch in that registration number and see who it belongs to. It might have been somebody who ran out of battery because he flew too far, because he was out of the visual line of sight. Now he's looking for the drone. Most of the times, these drones, they start at about $400 with DJI, where you can get the Fly More combo. Some are as cheap as $250, but they're very limited based on what you can film with it. Can you film in 4K? Yes, you can, but I also can film in 4K with my new Samsung Galaxy S22 or my iPhone 13. Driving past your house, film that as well. You know, is it from high up? No, but what do you have to hide? Do you have a collection of vintage cars in the back of your yard? Do you have a pallet of gold stashed up somewhere that nobody's supposed to know about? Well, you need a better hiding spot, to be honest, you know. The other part that I see plenty of people saying is that they want to do this. Well, if you really want to do that, most people don't even hit a freaking Coke can or bottle from 20 feet away. And you're telling me that you can shoot at a drone that is 200 feet up high, of a diameter of maybe 12 inches, going at 20 miles an hour, and you can shoot that out of the air? Well, let me tell you, if you shoot up in the air, let's say you miss, everything that goes up, physics, has to come back down. Meaning that you might be shooting up at the drone with the intent of taking it down because you're so upset. In the process of that, you might hit somebody's windshield, it goes straight through, you hit the driver, you kill him. It might go through a roof, a child sleeping in his bed, and the freaking 9mm that he just shot at it just went straight through and killed the kid.
An X-ray shows a bullet lodged in the skull of an Oak Park teenager after it fell out of the sky on July 4th.
You don't know. It might have been your bullet. Now, can you shoot it with a pellet rifle? I don't know. You probably could, but is it legal? No, you can't shoot any aircraft. It's forbidden. It's a felony charge. And if you, let's say it is really a drone that looks at you, and the person was screen recording it. Now you shot at the drone. This person can actually send this to the police and can tell the police this person shot at my drone. Now they will identify who the shooter was. They will identify based on that video where that place was at. And then you're dust, because then the federal government is going to come after you. It's a federal offense to shoot at any drone. Please don't do it. Like I said, most of the time, 2% might be the people that are the people, like criminals, that try and use the drone for the wrong purposes. But even then, they have to be very experienced. They have to have some sort of money. And especially in flight restricted areas, they won't be able to fly that specific drone because of the geofencing. It's just not going to take off. And most of the time, like I said, at night, you gotta have a specific area where you're gonna be at that you know of, and you have to be close to see your drone, because at nighttime flying is hard. I'm telling you, I've been flying drone for a long time now. I flew a lot of times at night, and even then, me as a experienced drone operator, I'm scared of clipping a telephone line. I'm scared of clipping up a power line or a ghost branch or something that I didn't think of at that time. Now, can you imagine a criminal who flies that stuff? If they go to the extent that they want to fly a drone above your property, they know that there's something there. They literally want to know what is there, and they have been scoping out your place from prior. They probably know already when you're coming home or not. Come on, people. Most of the time, if you approach a drone pilot, I had a lot of them approach me down at the coastline when I was flying. I talk story with them, even if they are upset about it. Oh, you can't fly it here. Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can. You know, my response is always the same. I'm calm, I'm collected. Even if you yell at me, it doesn't really matter, because it's not worth any fight. And when you look at it that way, there's never a winner in a fight. I hope this episode helped you. If it did, please don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want to be notified about future videos of mine. Besides that, don't forget, be a nice human. Make somebody else smile, and definitely pay it forward. Love you all. Aloha.